Hello and welcome to another episode of Fighting Game Fridays. And this week, we're doing Virtua Fighter 2. Why 2 and not 1? Because I don't have part 1. So yes, Virtua Fighter 2 for the Sega Saturn. Sorry, I've been in the Sega Saturn mood lately. Came out in, I'll say 95, 96 for the Sega Saturn. It was the sequel to Sega's popular 3D fighting series. And basically, I think, quite possibly, the first series to do 3D fighting games. And part 2 was basically, yes, the first Sega Saturn game I ever played. And when I played this game, it was a completely new world for me. The game had like 10 characters, 11 including Durrell, if you want to count that. I mean, she is a boss, but you can play as her if you do it right. So yeah, basically, up until this point, I was playing, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like everybody else, doing this whole, these 2D fighting games. And here comes Virtua Fighter. Now, I remember seeing the first Virtua Fighter in arcades, and I was like, I didn't know what I was looking at. I'm like, okay. That's weird. And I didn't really give much thought to it. I'm like, it looks stupid. I'm going to go over here and play Street Fighter. So basically, this, that, and another thing. And I didn't really see much about Virtua Fighter until I bought a Sega Saturn and I played this game. And my goodness, what is it? Was it a completely different experience from what I've been going through? I mean, it was like realistic. I mean, they weren't even kidding. It was supposed to be like a real life fighting simulation. I don't know. Using like real martial arts moves, real martial arts, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Activities? Styles, martial arts styles. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Like, the sound was pretty awesome. The characters sounded kind of cheesy, but they were cool. And the music, oh dear goodness, the music in this game was probably some of the best music I've ever heard in fighting games, up until, like Guilty Gear. But other than that, oh jeez, this is a completely different story. For this playthrough, I picked Sarah Bryant. Sarah Bryant is actually the sister of Jackie Bryant, the race car driver. And from the first 2 games, she was kidnapped and brainwashed by a company, or a group called the Judgment 6, which is some secret organization that runs the world. I don't know. They put a little bullshit story inside of the Virtua Fighter series, which actually goes nowhere and means nothing. But I guess they felt like they had to put something in there just to justify why this game exists. Or why these people are fighting. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I messed up. Character there is Shun Di. He's 82 years old at the time of the game. His fighting style is drunken kung fu. This game was pretty close to the arcade version, with minor differences. One being this level completely. In the arcade version, you're actually on the stage is actually a floating raft, and it's kind of cool because in the background you see the city going by as you're drifting by, and you pass under a bridge. Obviously, the Sega Saturn probably couldn't be that advanced. So they made this little BS thing where we're on some kind of weird beach. You still see the river move in the background. Still pretty interesting. So yeah, definitely, like I said, matches was like 30 seconds long. That was a default. You can turn it off completely if you want. You can adjust the size of the stage. You can do this, that, and the other thing. You can learn. The button layout was kind of weird because you have 3 buttons: block, punch, and kick. And you would think, oh, that sounds simple and stupid, but you put in the right combinations, you can make all these cool combos and button combinations and do all these different things. Basically, in the arcade mode, or one-player mode, which you see here, you face the 10 characters in order. There's no random order. There's a set order that plays through every time. So there's really no randomization. Is something that came up in later series. But the first 2, you basically had 1 through 10, or 1 through 8 in the first one. And the characters were always going to be where they were. So you see, round 4 is always going to be Pi? I don't know what's your name. Pei? I'm going to say Pei. It's always Pei around 4, 2 is always Sarah, 3 is always Shun, and so on and so forth. The game itself, playing against a computer, the computer can be pretty cheap. and I'll point some of that out in a minute. Now, loading times weren't that bad either. Had a little try next stage in there instead of saying loading. Lion, I don't know. I always thought it was Lion, but that's so weird. Who names their kid Lion? I don't know. This is where the game started to get a little pain in the assy. Because yeah, once you get to around 5 the game, like you might have noticed if you were paying attention that the timer in the bottom corner jumped up a bit, and the reason that is because I did in fact lose against some characters well, from this point on I ended up having to do continues and stuff, so, and I at some points had to get really cheap just to beat the game. And now I shall hang my head in shame. But yeah, the stages I thought were cool. Like the stages you're in, like the game has something called ring out, so you can like knock the opponent out of the stage, and that would be the end of the match. You can actually adjust the size of the ring. This is the default size. You can change it to like really small and make little mock super matches, or you can change it really big and practically eliminating the whole need for a ring out thing. You can make them up like a huge ass ring, takes up the most room in the stage, and it kind of upscales it a bit, so it does look kind of pixelated the bigger it gets. Now watch this. Yeah, that's all you got to do with this one. That's it. I know, right? It's like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know how long it took me to figure that one out. I'm sitting there trying to fight this guy, and he's kicking my ass, and one day I'm just like, I don't know what made me do this, but I thought, hey, let me just try this, and then I think I started out trying to do a combo thing, and it just did that on its own. I was like, what the hell? It's like, oh, that's all you have to do? Okay. That really only works with 2 characters. It's not gonna work if I try like this next character, who is a pain in the ass to fight. That is Kagemaru, the ninja of the game. One of the cooler characters, I think, and if I like to play as him. I wanted to, I might play as him in another version of the game, because as much as I like Virtua Fighter 2, like I said, the computer is just a cheap son of a bitch, and it will be able to counter and block just about every effing move that you can throw at it. And it, like, at one point, it starts to see it coming, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell is wrong with you? So, like, it gets kind of annoying, because, like, you're sitting there trying to do, like, all these moves, and it's able to automatically counter you, or in some parts, they'll, like, completely just see what you're about to do, and they can stop you. I don't know why it does that. It's a pain in the ass, and it's really something you don't see too much in this fight, but the next fight, oh my goodness, and I will get to that in a minute. So as you can see, I took the, I guess you can say I took the wussy way out and just, like, just throw them, but come on, it's the computer, so it doesn't count. Like, I wouldn't do this against, like, normal, if I was playing against other opponents. Me and my friend used to play this a lot. He used to like Akira, because Akira's like the hardest character to manage, but if you know how to use him, probably one of the most rewarding characters in the game. I'd probably say that about all of them, but here we go with friggin' Jackie, who I was basically, like, you see the time jump there? You know how many times it took me to try to beat this freaking guy? I mean, seriously, it was a pain. And yeah, this guy saw like everything coming I was supposed to do. He'd be standing there, and I try to do that, and when you get knocked down, you can like do a sweep when you get up. He would see that coming. He'd be standing there, and like right before, like I'd be in the middle of the sweep, and all of a sudden he ducks and blocks. Like, how the hell do you know how to do that? That is BS. And if you try to be smart and do the standing one, he sees that coming too, and he can like counter like every fucking thing I did, and it was pissing me off. And a couple times I did that bicycle kick thing there, and I'd be right dead on with him, and I got a perfect 2. He got a perfect 2, what a bastard. I'd be right dead on, and he didn't even block, but it just misses and didn't even connect him. I was like, you son of a bitch game. So the last few opponents just get really a-hole-ish, and they're like, they able to like block just about everything you can do. It's it's a pain in the ass. People did have some problems in the game, like, you know, when they jumped up in the air, characters are too floaty. They'd float there a little too long. And oh, I'm glad I got that. I would have been pissed. This is actually my second attempt at recording. I tried recording it before, and yeah, it didn't go so well. And I could just not. I was playing as Jackie, but I could not pass Jackie for the life of me. I was at like, I don't know what time I was at, but I was just like, I gave up. I rage quit. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not playing this game. I decided to try again. This time I went Sarah because, I don't know, kind of close to playing as Jackie. And here is Wolf Hockfield, a Canadian Wolf Hockfield. His name is Wolf Hockfield. A Canadian wrestler who is supposed to be really good at wrestling, yet can't seem to grasp the simple concept of blocking. Because, oh look, I'm ducking. Oh, I'm gonna, you so, I'll get you. Hold on, I'm gonna, So yeah, that's him and Jeffrey are the two characters you can beat that way. I think you can do pretty much any character that has at least a 3-hit punch combo. And here we have the final round is Akira, who, like I said, is probably the hardest character in the game to learn, but if you do, oh my goodness, you will have a good time just destroying people with his moves. And quite frankly, he has the best theme music in the game. The best background music game when you're playing as him, or playing against him. Like, me and my friend used to play this music all the time. We're like, oh yeah, we call the song like "To Be a Champion" or something like that. It was pretty cool. So, yeah, like I said, very difficult character to master. Probably one of the hardest ones to master, but if you get him, it's just amazing. And oh, please don't tell me I misdid this and I might have fucked up. Oh no, I got it. Because yeah, I lost a few times in the last few matches, except for Wolf. But yeah, I had to continue a couple times. That is obviously evident by the little timer in the bottom. If you look in the bottom right corner, you might see there's a bit of a time jump. It's like, what the hell? So yes, like I said, these are usually heavily edited. For the most part, sometimes I do pretty good, not have to do that much editing. But a lot of times I have to, and I had to just pretty much. I was getting sick of it at this point. And so, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm just gonna cheap out and throw all the time. But I will stomp on you to make it look like I did something different. And that's pretty much it for Virtua Fighter 2. Virtua Fighter 2. And you get one more bonus stage after you beat the game where you fight the boss. That is Darrell, and you fight the match underwater? Yeah, this part made absolutely no sense to me ever. I mean, is this something I could actually do in real life? Like, this is your last touch on journey. You're going to go underwater and you're going to fight this metal robot chick. As you can see, I tried to do the Kage strategy where I just toss and throw and toss and throw, but I messed up. And it didn't end too well for me. So, yeah. See, I was doing good, and I fucked up at this point. So, yeah. And look at that. She just automatically ducks and goes into the position. I know it, like, set it up for it, but looked like it looked like it put me in the setup before she actually made the move. I'm like, what the hell is that, game? What the hell is that? So what I do like this game, it can give you much frustration, especially if you're playing against the cheap-ass computer. It just knows exactly what to do and stuff like that. And, you know, basically you beat the game. No glitz, no glamour, just some credits and showing you finishing off the opponents one more time. You will always have a mirror match no matter what character you pick. So like I said, it's a set thing. Did that in the first and the second one. Around the third one, I started doing some more randomization of the characters. But even then, there were still like set patterns that the game would stick with. So yeah, like I said, 3-button layout, you know, 3D graphics. This is a big improvement over the first one. And yeah, so basically you do this, that, and the other thing. One of the better, like I said, I think Sega Saturn has some of the best 3D fighting games in existence. And this series obviously inspired Tekken. Hell, in the first few games, a lot of the characters look exactly like Tekken characters. Now, a lot of people probably thought that Tekken was the better of the 3D fighters. I gotta say I disagree. While I'm okay with Tekken and I like it, I just think like it took away the realism that a lot of the games were trying to, that the first Fighter series were trying to. It was basically doing a 3D type fighting game with a 2D type story. You know, 2D fighting, like those supernatural abilities that the characters have. Hey, look at me, I can throw fireballs and stuff like that. Yeah, good for you. And then you can put in your name or your initials, whatever, like that. And then you get a special little still of your character, and that's your ending right there. Whatever character you pick, you'll get a variation of that ending. And even if you have like their alternate costume, it'll do the alternate costume one. And the background will actually be a little different too. It'll be a different angle. It's like, for example, when you play as Jackie and in a match with Jackie and Sarah, the background is always going to be Chicago, and you saw that during Jackie's fight. If you use their alternate costume, when it shows that picture, it shows that background. Other than that, it shows their regular background. But yeah, you can pick alternate costume just by holding up on the remote while you're selecting your character. It was all good stuff. Like, all these moves you can use, it's like real martial arts styles is using. It was a pretty cool game, so definitely one of the greats. I think one of the classics of our time, one of the better fighting games in history. A lot of people might argue with that. Oh, Virtua Fighter sucks. Yeah, those are stupid people. So, yeah. So, anyway, this has been another episode of Fighting Game Fridays, and I will see you next time.